Introduction. Your opportunity, should you choose to accept it. This book is based on three straightforward ideas. The first is that we live in a world that is more connected and changes faster day in and day out than has ever been the case before. The second is that to thrive in this world, we must continually develop new knowledge and skills. Never before has ongoing, effective, lifelong learning been so necessary for so many people, both as a path to economic success and simply for making sense of and finding fulfillment in a highly complex world. The third is that technology has reached a tipping point in the past few years. Not only are there many more ways to deliver education outside the traditional classroom, the technologies are dramatically less expensive, easier to use, and much more broadly embraced by the public than they were as little as a decade ago. These three ideas together suggest a tremendous opportunity. We're at a point at which nearly anyone with a decent computer, a high-speed internet connection, and expertise or access to expertise in a topic or skill set can reach a global audience in very sophisticated ways. That anyone may very well be you. Depending on your background and your perspective, little of this may seem like news. But consider what the situation was just a little over a decade ago. In the go-go.com 1990s, I worked for a startup e-learning company whose founders had a vision for capturing lectures from top-ranked schools and distributing them into community colleges and second-tier universities. The idea was to provide access to a caliber of content that students at these institutions might not otherwise get. It was a compelling vision, and the company produced some wonderful educational content. To do this, though, was no small matter. We spent millions on high-end audio and video equipment and the talent to go with it so that we could capture lectures. We paid dozens of Flash and HTML programmers to create interactive web content and employed teams of writers, graphic artists, and editors to create great text and visual content. Much of my own work involved traveling from business school to secure complex contracts for the professors who would deliver the lectures. My colleagues and I were certain we had found a model that was going to transform the world of education. The market, however, was not so certain, and the sales we hoped for never materialized. Of course, in those days, it was all too easy to find and spend money on the next big thing. When the venture fell apart, it was also easy to draw the conclusion that maybe the internet and the whole concept of online education were not going to be all that the hype had made them out to be. By 2002, the bubble had burst, and the people at my company, and countless other companies, had dispersed and gone off to work on other things. The revolution we had been a part of had seemingly fizzled. Now, fast forward a decade, and consider what has happened in the meantime. Many of the things we now consider a standard part of our internet experience have come into existence only in this intervening decade, some only in the past 5 years. These include Google, YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, smartphones, and even low-cost, reliable web conferencing technologies, just to name a very few. Awareness and use of most of these technologies have become the norm in only the past few years, even if it now seems like they have been around forever. The global economic landscape has shifted dramatically. Thomas Friedman's landmark book, The World is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century, published in 2005, captured the way in which the evaporation of economic borders has changed the nature of work forever. This point has been punctuated by the global recession that began in 2007, and from which the world has not yet fully emerged. With unemployment soaring and rampant uncertainty now the norm across many labor markets, the focus on education has become more intense than at any point since the aftermath of World War II. There is widespread recognition that we need to better prepare people for the world we now live in, and we need to help those who have been displaced gain new knowledge.